All right, Polo Sports Talking Entertainment. Let's just go ahead and jump right into this, okay? Make sure you hit the like button, sub to the channel if you're not a member, and also hit the notifications too. Now, this has always been Rudy Gobert's problem, okay? Listen, I happen to respect the hell out of Rudy Gobert, even though, as far as the play on the court, in terms of him getting exposed, the way he has his shortcomings uh, in a lot of games, and them not being able to quite get over the hump with him and Donovan Mitchell. What's up with it, y'all? I see y'all in the building. What's up, True Viking Queen? I see you in the building. Ted Cox, Kev Foster. I see you in here, bro. Now, I'm gonna say this, okay? Like when he had got the max contract and when he had got his money, I had made a video about it, and I said that Rudy Gobert, you know, he has to show up, and he also has to, play for what he's worth. But I mean, he did deserve it. Uh, defensive player of the year, 2 times. What's up, Tom Wynn? I see you in the building. But Rudy Gobert, man, you saying that you would lock Shaq up after he had already said that you would be French barbecue chicken. Shaq wasn't capping about that. Now, I want y'all to remember something, and before any of you, and you're welcome to disagree. I don't mind, but let's take something into account, okay? Now, let's slice this into two, actually three ways, okay? Let's go to the very beginning of Shaq's career, okay? Some of y'all are looking at Shaq when he was either, at the tail end with the Lakers, Shaq. You look at him when he was at Miami, or you even look at him at the tail end of his career when he was either with Cleveland or with Boston, which that clearly was not the Diesel. Okay. Now, Shaq, when he first came into the league, he was already taking the league by the storm. But some people think that it was just him just dunking, which he did do quite a bit. But Shaq actually had utilized a lot of his footwork and utilized a lot of agility, and he was making all the great centers that he played against miss. Now, was he successful against some of those centers in the beginning? Absolutely not, because he ran into Hakeem Olajuwon in the finals, and he ended up losing. And but against the other top ranked big men in the league or whatnot, he had to he had to go through the grit and the grind and the bumps and the bruises early on. But after he reached the pinnacle, the very top of his peak, there was nobody in the league that could guard Shaq. That's one of the reasons, they often talk about Allen Iverson. What's up? Okay, Ted Cox, you said Shaq was the last superstar to beat Michael Jordan in a playoff series. Well, I mean, come on, man. You really want to throw that? You just had to put that in there. And we know what was going on with MJ, okay? We what happened that very next year though? What happened that very next year, Ted Cox? Come on now. And we know that Michael Jordan was not even that motherfucker. Michael Jordan wasn't even in basketball shape. But it ain't no excuses. He got out there. But hey, if you want to count that, go ahead. That's fine. But we all know what took place, and it took him after Jordan was out of the league to do that. But that's a whole nother story. All right. Now let's go ahead and slice this. All right. Now when he was in LA or whatever, people had to understand that Shaq, as well as Kobe, Shaq didn't want to buy into the triangle, and it actually helped Shaq's game a whole bunch because people got to understand that the triangle gives a chance for everybody to touch the ball, and 9 times out of 10, with the triangle, it was putting Shaq in a position to be very dominant. Well, all these guys were hanging up off of him and fouling him and stuff like that. And he said that he wanted to beef up because he was taking a pounding down low because they had no answer for him in terms of, the strength and the size and stuff. Now there would be guys that would, give him problems from an agility standpoint and everything, but still he was still he was still dominant in this. And we're talking about a Shaq that even though he was not taking great care of his body in the off season because I've been critical of him about that because he would play his way into shape. Everybody knows that he would use the season to get into shape, but once he got into shape, it was a wrap, and that was a testament to say how great Shaq truly could have been. He could have been on the level of a Will Chamberlain. He could have been on the level of some of the other, more agile bigs, like a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But you can't take that away from him. I do have Shaq as one of the. Hey, what's going on, Daryl? I haven't seen you in a minute, man. I haven't seen you in a minute, brother. Glad you're doing good though. And I got to give Daryl his flowers, man. And I'll put the link in the chat in just a second if you're gonna stay, sir. But I got to give you flowers on something that you had said, and I was wrong about. And I know you were scratching your head when I said it. One thing that I do, man, is when I'm wrong about something on here, I'll come over here and I apologize. And Daryl Sloan, he checked me on something, and I call myself trying to check him. But anyways, I'll get to that in a second if brother Daryl Sloan stays. How about that? All right. Now, people got to understand this, okay? This is what I often read a lot about Shaq, okay? And this pertains to Rudy Gobert, okay? people want to sit up here and say, "Oh well, Shaq, all he was muscle and beef down low, and all he did was beat people up and dunk and run over people." No, he didn't. Shaq had the up and under. Shaq had the spin move. Shaq would spin off of you. Shaq could move in the pick and roll. Shaq could pick and pop, not in terms of the pick and pop of what you're talking about. We're talking about lower pick and pop in terms of giving a little runner a pick and pop or whatever down low, especially when he was playing with another Goliath down low, because you had to understand that he was doing that in Miami with Alonzo Mourning, and he wasn't. He was kind of just getting up up out of his prime in Miami, but he was still decent, and he was still a force, and he was still a force to be reckoned with or whatever. Okay. Then also what we have to understand is that Shaq could utilize those moves. He could handle the ball too. But see, back in the day, these people got to understand that they would listen. They would tell Shaq to give up the ball. I want people to go understand, go look at a movie called Blue Chips. Okay, it's a movie that was based on college players doing stuff under the table and stuff. In that movie, I've mentioned this before. They there were college coaches when he was trying to handle the rock. They were saying, "Give up the ball, big fella, give up the ball," because they didn't want guys handling the rock like that. They didn't like it when Weber did it, but the thing about it was that Chris Webber, he would still handle the rock or whatever, and they really couldn't even do nothing because I mean he was flamboyant with it, and also he could play make, and also he could score, also he could run in transition and do many different things for his side. That's just an example. But the thing that we got to understand though is that when you talk about like Rudy Gobert continues to get exposed. If he played in the '90s, oh man, or in the '80s, I don't even like using no man. Okay, we'll just take it, back in the '90s or whatever, because that's the term that people like to use the most. Even though I don't like using that silly shit, but Shaq did play in the '90s, so we'll just go ahead and go with that. Man, coaches would have literally had a field day with Rudy Gobert, especially when it came to the pick and roll. I mean, Rudy Gobert continues to get exposed, and they're going to continue to gnaw at you until you get it. He still hasn't understood that concept. They're going to continue to attack your weak point. So you don't think Shaq would be able to capitalize on? He'll probably be able to keep up with Shaq, I would say, within the I'd say the first maybe 7 minutes of the game. Then after that, it would be barbecue chicken or French barbecue chicken, as he called it. He's talking about he would lock Shaq's ass up. No, he wouldn't. Okay, now a guy that did give Shaq problems, and he probably looking at a guy like a Yao Ming. Yao Ming gave Shaq, some problems. Especially on the offensive end. And on the defensive end, Yao Ming was using his size and using his athleticism somewhat, but Shaq still was a beast and still able to do his thing or whatever. And you're talking about Shaq was giving up at least 4 to 5 inches. You understand what I'm saying? So we got to stop with this. Oh yeah, well Rudy Gobert, now, Rudy Gobert, like talk to me when you start actually becoming successful. Because the last time I checked, Shaq made it to the finals in his young career. Even after being in there 3 years, you have yet to even sniff a Western Conference final. And I know they're gonna say, well, what about Donovan Mitchell and and all this other stuff? Look, you wasn't saying all that shit when you was up in there celebrating against the United States when you beat uh, the U.S. during the Summer Olympics. And look, I don't want people to think that I don't like Rudy Gobert. I respect Rudy Gobert's game. If he would become better out on the pick and roll, and he would do work on his offensive game, because he doesn't. What is he? He's good for the pick and roll and that little, a short hook in there, and a cleanup man. Other than that, he doesn't have the footwork in the post like a Shaquille O'Neal. He doesn't use the rim as a shield like Shaquille used to do. And Shaq could be very finesse if he wanted to. It wasn't all about just dunking all the time. Sometimes he would lay the ball up. Sometimes Shaq was a very decent passing big man. I think that gets slept on too a lot. But all you see is all these highlights of Shaq just dunking over. I mean, of course he was going to impose his will, and he was like Kobe said, he was very vindictive. He was nasty, and he was a nasty competitor. And even Kobe said that he could have been the greatest player to play this game, and that's a fact. If Shaq was an in shape Shaq all the time, like a Wilt Chamberlain or like a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he probably could have because he was a dominant force. But you know, he just in the off season, man, he didn't take it as serious as some of the other players did. I'm gonna let the brother Daryl Sloan get up in here. I haven't heard from Daryl Sloan, man. Daryl Sloan, man, be coming in here out of nowhere, man. I mean, he be brother Daryl, man. Man, I be like, man, where's my boy at, bro? you know, I gotta be doing a video on a big man or Wilt Chamberlain or something like that to get him to come through. But the link is in the chat if you want to come in. Now, I don't have a problem. Okay, like when it comes to Rudy Gobert, I like the fact that he got confident. Oh man, I got an echo. And he has that competitive will and drive and passion to be like, yeah, I can lock up Shaq. But man, you have got to, man, you got to respect your elders, man, and you got to respect greatness. This guy is a three-time Finals MVP, and I've already read his resume before, and we're talking about a four-time champion. But go ahead, Daryl Sloan, man, because I got an echo, man. I think some you got something in the background that's still on. Two
No,
programs that are on or something.
yeah, I turned my YouTube. I paused my YouTube. I paused it. But that's yeah. So mine's just straight. I paused my YouTube. Um, yeah, man, this shouldn't even be a conversation, man. I mean, Rudy Gobert. Said I don't know who started. I don't know if Shaq started, but even if that's the case, Rudy Gobert just should have ate those words and just said I should get better. But this is no conversation, man. You know, it's bad and it's terrible. It's terrible, man. I mean, when I found out the day earlier today, I'm like, what? And there just really no introduction, no need for all that, man. I mean, because we all know, or most people that watch the Utah Jazz, that's Rudy Gobert weakness that he's slow, he can't guard a pick and roll, his offensive game is limited. Um, he's very limited, no post moves. Basically his bread and butter is just alley oop dunks. That's it. And like I said, I appreciate the fact that he has confidence, but that's just ridiculous, and that's all I really have to say, man. It's just terrible. It's just terrible. You just should have left that alone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's facts. Because and listen, hey, brother Daryl, this is what I had to tell you, man, and I want to let everybody know, man, brother Daryl, this is what it was about, man. I gotta give you your props, man. I had said, okay, I had made a mistake, and I said that Brooklyn and Milwaukee was playing in the Eastern Conference Finals. I made a mistake. And brother Daryl, he had to check me on that. I know he was scratching his head. It was a semifinal.
Yeah,
But the brother Daryl Sloan was right, man. You know what I'm saying? Like hey, I got to give him the slide. So big up to Daryl Sloan, man. I'm just letting y'all know that.
Yeah, yeah, no problem. You know, I'm very disappointed in Brooklyn. I'm very
Uh huh.
disappointed. I ain't want to get off topic, but I'm just disappointed in
No, it's
Brooklyn.
all good, man. Man, look, my channel. Listen, I want people to understand this though, brother Daryl. Like we jump from subject to subject, man, on this channel. Yeah, we might be talking about something, man, but listen, wherever it goes, man, whatever on your mind, man, go ahead, man. But go ahead,
Yeah,
though, bro.
but this Shaquille O'Neal, but this thing with Rudy Gobert, man. Rudy Gobert just need to sit down and just chill out. He just need to sit down and just relax, man. He just need to sit down and relax, and he's not in no conversation. Nobody gonna never pick him on the all-time team. Nobody gonna never pick him to start a franchise with. Nobody never gonna pick him to be the best in the NBA. Nobody gonna never pick him as a top 20, top 25, top 30, maybe even top 35. Nobody gonna never pick him on that on that list. And he complaining about once he was complaining about making All-Star games, not making the All-Star games. I mean, it's just silly. It really is silly though, man. It's silly. It really is. I mean, for somebody that's if he had worked on this game but don't show it on the offensive end, you see what I'm saying? And he just don't show. I mean, for somebody that's very very limited offensively, and as far as a pick and roll on the defensive side, he's a great rim protector. But in other things that he's a good rebounder also, but other things that some centers need to improve on, he's not if he has tried to improve on it, he's not showing. So
Right.
you know, he just really don't need to be saying anything to Shaq, man. He's not on Shaquille O'Neal's category. He's not in his category to even be saying anything. You see what I'm saying? He's not even in his category at all, at all.
I
He's
mean,
not.
I put it to you like this, brother Daryl, man. See,
I'm gonna say this last thing. I'm gonna say this last thing for getting on. Comparing Rudy Gobert to Shaq is like comparing Saturn to Mars into Pluto. Comparing Mars to Saturn. It's ridiculous.
yeah. Well,
Go ahead.
this is the thing. Can you hear me, brother?
Perfect, perfect. I hear you perfectly.
Okay. Now, look, Rudy Gobert needs to do what a lot of the other bigs did, which is to go to a guy like a Shaquille or like a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or like a even a Shaquille O'Neal, and actually learn from those guys.
Yeah, he instead of him freedom with Shaquille O'Neal, he should be asking him for some from his advice of how to score better down low, have some decent post moves on the offensive end. He should have opened up to Shaq, if
Right.
anything, to improve his career.
Because listen, I know it's not all about you know offense and stuff like that. Defense, of course. Look, Hakeem Olajuwon. I loved him as an offensive player. He was phenomenal, best footwork in the game, and one of the best, and the best in my opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, of
Besides a
course, man.
couple of
I, I agree, man.
besides a couple of other people, but I got Hakeem Olajuwon because of his defense. Now it could be argued because of Will Chamberlain, but I'm talking about from what I had saw.
Yeah,
Well, you could still be my point is you could still be a legitimate defensive force, defensive threat, work on a couple of moves or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Because all they see you is pretty much predictable and one dimensional and stuff. And I know this era is different and everything, but okay, are you gonna adapt to the times? Are you just gonna keep on doing the same thing year after year? Because you look like you were turning the corner when you played against the U.S. in the Olympics. But for you to say that you're gonna lock Shaq up, well, first off, buddy, I mean, what about Shaq locking you up?
and let me say this about Hakeem Olajuwon. To me, I think Hakeem Olajuwon is a better defensive player than he was an offensive player. That's just me. Um, as far as Rudy Gobert, man, I mean, look, man, there was no need for that. I think Rudy Gobert needs to improve, but you know what, Polo, he might not never improve, man. He might not. He might not. I mean, he's still labeled as a top five center. He's still labeled as that for the most part. But like I said, he might never improve. It is saying he's not a terrible player, but when it comes to offense, he can't even give you like 18 a game. You see what I'm saying? He can't even give you that. He have not averaged no higher like than 14, 15, 16 points. I mean, he's just limited. I think if he was a more of a threat on the offensive end instead of the alley oops, that's not really scoring. I mean, that's just somebody throwing you a lob. If he was just more better on the offensive end, I think that the Jazz would go further than what they are, what they went. You see what
Right.
I'm saying? The man's
Uh,
a tall, long guy. He's a tall, long guy. It's just no excuse. It's just no excuse. You see what I'm
right.
saying? He probably the longest player in the league as far as the wingspan. He's one of the tallest players in the league. He can play defense, even if he wasn't great on the pick and roll. I think the most thing he should have worked on is offense, and it's just no excuse. It's just no excuse. It just ain't.
I,
It just
think you
ain't.
need to work on. I think you need to work on not getting exposed in the pick and roll situation. Like, see,
Yeah, I
and,
mean,
and
yeah, I mean,
You
yeah,
a Wilt fan. You a Wilt fan, brother.
absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
Wilt wouldn't have got exposed in no pick and roll like that. Not
No, because
continuously.
yeah, he can move. He's very agile. He's very agile. He can move. He's very quick. He's very quick. He can move. He can switch off. Especially with the San Francisco Warriors, he can switch off. In his athletic years, he can switch off. He can guard the pick and roll. Um, he can cover. He can cover up. He can cover through the free throw to the charity stripe. He can cover. He can cover. As big as as huge as he is, he can cover. He can cover ground on the outside. Now I'm
Right.
not saying he can do it like a Kawhi Leonard, but he can cover. He can cover. At the very least, he'll be able to cover long enough to get back in the post. He can cover while driving in. He can do that.
Right.
So so
But
yeah,
but
but go ahead.
I think people think that, okay, if you leave Will Chamberlain on an island by himself with like a quicker guard or something like that, like he's just gonna like that guard is just
At,
gonna
at
fly
seven
right
foot,
past him and stuff like
at,
that, and it
a 7'8" wingspan, a 7'8" wingspan, a man that ran a 4'6", a 7'8" wingspan, a man that ran reportedly a 4'6" in the 40. A guy, a guy, a guy that's only 3 seconds slower than Michael Jordan, and only 2 seconds slower than LeBron James.
right,
Okay, a man that ran track is just a guard that's gonna fly by him. I don't think so.
right,
I don't think so. A man that's laterally can move quicker, get quicker than most bigs, than just about every big in the history of the game. Probably besides, as far as lateral quickness, besides Giannis, is going to get exposed. I don't think so. A man that constantly worked out all the time. You got to be kidding me.
how how much do you think Shaq would have averaged on Rudy Gobert, brother
Oh,
Stone?
I don't know, but I can tell you at the very least. I can tell you at the very least he'll average. I can say he. I can. I give you. I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say at his worst. I'm gonna say at his worst. At his worst, 44.
Yeah,
At worst, I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say with Shaq without trying.
that's on a bad day, huh?
I'm pretty good, man. Yeah, without trying. 44. Without trying.
how 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 much would Wilt would average on it?
Hey, well, the comment, man. Let's see. Okay. Let me say this. Let me say this. Let me say this.
Because
Let me say
now you facing an even superior athletic being.
Yeah, let me say this. Let me say this right quick. I'm gonna say this right quick, man. Okay. Will Chamberlain went through Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Will Chamberlain went through Nate Thurman, who was greater than Rudy Gobert. Greater Walt Bellamy, Willis Reed, Weston.
Should be in the NBA 75, but that's a whole nother one.
Yeah, man. Exactly. Um, Artist Gilmore, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Zach Beatty, Bob McAdoo, with Evan Hayes. Rudy Gobert is not on none of those guys' level. So I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna say about like 50, maybe 50 at the very worst.
Uh,
I mean,
hey,
at the worst, yeah.
hold on, brother. Hey, salute to you, brother Dion Reed. Nah, man. Hey, that's facts though. Man, that's not capping, Dion Reed. Because do you know what Shaq averaged in the finals for
He played against Kim
totality?
Olajuwon,
He averaged 36 and damn near 16 rebounds. That's his total averages.
and you know what Shaq did, David Robinson, man. What makes you think? What makes you think that Rudy Gobert is gonna be tougher competition than David Robinson? You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me, man.
Shaq was like undeniable. Like, look, he would probably, he'll probably get like a block or two or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But the pounding, the physical pounding, his presence,
He
him
did,
constantly leaning on Gobert, and then Gobert, mentally would be shy. You got to realize this, Dion. Shaq mentally would pretty much break motherfuckers.
and he already and he Shaq went up against Yao Ming. Shaq had problems like Yao Ming, but Shaq still got his. Shaq still got his.
Yeah,
What is Rudy?
Even though Yao Ming,
Oh,
he gave him some,
oh,
he
he
gave
did.
Shaq a little bit of trouble, but
Oh
he
yeah,
did.
he did. He did. He did. And now he's going up against a guy. Now he go up against a guy that's slow footed. Didn't have to face somebody that's physically superior. That's physically on his level. Rudy Gobert had to face somebody like Shaquille O'Neal or anybody like Shaquille O'Neal. You see what I'm saying? Or in his position. What is Rudy Gobert gonna do with that man? What's he gonna do? That's like you said, Polo Sport. He might get a block or two, but what is he gonna do? What is he gonna do against Shaq? Nothing. Nothing.
Oh, okay, Rick Smith and Matoma was out of his prime. But yeah, Shaq
He can't.
would get 30. Okay, all right. Well, Dion, I'm glad you brought that up. You know why? Because guess what? He played against Hakeem,
In
and he averaged
1995,
28. He averaged 28 against Hakeem in his first finals. Rudy Gobert has yet to get to even a Western Conference final, if I'm not mistaken. Man, come on, man. Like Shaq was already a dominant force coming in and stuff. And I know you're gonna say, well, he had Penny Hardaway, which is true. Penny Hardaway, Penny in his prime, he was nice. But let's not forget that Shaq was agile. Shaq could do
especially
way more on the offensive end than what Rudy Gobert did. Now, the one knock that I did kind of have on Shaq a little bit was his defense. I mean, he wasn't, he was a
absolutely.
presence and everything, but I don't think he was as great
Mostly doing
a
physical.
defender
Yeah.
like
Mostly due to his physical
Alonzo
ability.
and Hakeem and
Yeah,
some of them other guys. But he was a presence and he was a rebound king though.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Carl. You got to look at what Shaq faced at center when he played. Also, yeah, I mean, David Robinson, Hakeem Olajuwon, the Mutombo. Kim Mutombo was still in his twin when Shaquille O'Neal first came in. The Kim Mutombo, Alonzo Mourning. You see what I'm saying? You got to look at all that. And you talking about Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert is not in their category at all. He's not even close to those guys. He's not. He's not. Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard. You see what I'm saying? You got get up, forget about him. Dwight Howard. So Rudy Gobert. I mean, he's a good player, but I'm not gonna say he. I'm being
Salute,
nice about. He's just in that category. He's not in that
salute
category,
T
man.
Price. I see you in the building, man. I see you in the building, brother. I ain't forgot about you, bro. All right. Okay. Well, no. Okay. Hold on. Hey, brother Dell, I want you to chime in on this. Listen, he said that he would lock Shaq up. I mean, what do you? Okay, you're actually saying that you would give Shaq problems and stuff like that. Now we all know in in any type of fantasy world, we're not gonna say that Rudy Gobert is better than Shaq. However,
No,
I'll throw this wrench out here for you, brother Sloan. Rudy Gobert actually has a lot of potential to be a superior big man. If Rudy Gobert had a shot, like an Aiden, if Rudy Gobert could move laterally, somewhat like what Aiden does, even though he got exposed a little bit by Luca, I ain't gonna even talk about that, and by Giannis. But
Hmm.
if he could have somewhat decent of good footwork and post move, low post move, making you miss up and under, spin off of you, even spin off of you backdoor for the alley oop, which he does from time to time, he would be so unstoppable. And that would be somebody else that you would have to worry about. What do you think Dallas had to worry about? They got to worry about Aiden.
Yeah, and you see the thing is, I think Rudy Gobert should have worked on that early in his career, though, man. I mean, he just should have worked on. I mean, it's just crazy though, man. I mean, if he would just work on his
And
offensive game,
he would walk over Gobert. That's a fact.
oh, oh,
He
no
would kill.
doubt.
If you're talking about Shaq in the Cleveland days or the
Oh no, no,
or
Miami,
Boston
yeah, Boston,
or
Boston,
somewhat Miami, yeah. But
the Phoenix, yeah,
Shaquille
yeah, yeah.
O'Neal,
The real Shaquille O'Neal, the real one. Orlando and LA. You talking about the real Shaquille O'Neal?
yeah. LSU. LSU handle the rock, take that bitch coast to coast. Sometimes hit you with a pass.
Absolutely, absolutely. Diving on loose floors, hustling. The younger, even in Atlanta, he couldn't do anything with Orlando. Shaquille O'Neal. That's when he was more athletic. That's
Right.
when he was way more athletic.
Yeah, man. And look, the knock that I have on him though is if he would have worked on, just worked on like as hard as a guy like Kobe Bryant did,
Hey
Shaq would,
man, hey
man.
man. I mean, look. I think one thing that made me mad about Shaquille O'Neal, he took the game seriously, but not seriously enough.
Right,
Not
exactly.
seriously, not seriously enough. I'm disappointed because he could have been a better rebounder. He could have been a better defensive player. But after 2004, after his last year with the Lakers, I think he went downhill since then.
Right.
And but other than that, Shaquille O'Neal, I mean, hey man, he's that dude. He's that dude. But it's not even a conversation though, man. Some people was trying to make this a conversation. The man faced Yao Ming, man. Yao Ming's better than Rudy Gobert. He's way better than Rudy Gobert. I mean,
Yeah,
did you see
yeah.
Shaq play against
Hey,
Shaq? Yeah, you see Shaq
Yao
did.
Ming, Yao Ming was actually becoming starting to emerge as the premier big man in the league because he had
He had all
adapted.
the tools, man. He had
Yeah,
all the tools. Man.
he started adapting to the U.S. game. There was a documentary saying they used to beat him up in practice. The combination of Coutinho, Mobley, and all these other guys, they used to beat him up in practice. And then he started to, get concept of the U.S. game.
The
But
only thing I'm saying, go ahead.
no, brother, Jeff Sloan, man, I'm sorry I got to cut it short, man. I got to ride out. But man, you give your closing thoughts, man, because I got to
Yeah.
ride out right now.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I also say this. The only thing ain't no telling what Yao Ming could have been, man, if he had stayed healthy. If he had stayed healthy, man. He had a potential to be a top five center, or at the very worst, at the very least, maybe a top 10 center. If he hadn't got hurt, he had all the tools, man, but his body just couldn't hold up. Even Shaq came out and said that he can't stop. I can't stop him. He couldn't stop me. Shaq even said that Yao Ming had all the tools: the shot, the fadeaway, the finger roll, the hook shot. He said that he was the only guy that blocked three of his straight shots and gave him a whole lot of
Facts.
problems on the
That's
defensive
facts.
end.
Hey man, brother Daryl Sloan. Make sure y'all go sub to him. He's a Sixers fan, just like myself. Oh man, we gonna get him. We gonna get him, brother Daryl.
Hey man, hey man,
Come
I
on,
hope so,
man. We
man.
gonna
I
get
hope
him,
so,
man.
man.
Hey,
I
call
hope so,
out. We
man.
out, man. We gotta get
I
him, man.
I hope, I hope so, Polo Sports. I hope so, man. I hope so, man.
James
I really
Harden,
do.
man. Hey, he playing good. I'm like, oh shit. I gotta tell Daryl Sloan about this, man.
I hope so. I really hope so, man.
All
I
right,
hope
man.
so,
Hey,
man.
man. Y'all stay locked in, man. Polo Sports Talking and Entertainment. Make sure y'all go subscribe to the homeboy, brother Daryl Sloan. He's a historian of the highest order. Sixers fan, all of that, man. You know how we do here, Polo Sports Talking Entertainment, man. I'm gonna get at y'all later. All right.
All right, take it easy, man. All right.